Oh, ush.
Okay.
Uh, and we're going. Whoa! It's GI Joburg episode 412. That's 412. And I'm joined by these sexy gentlemen. Steve is over there. Rob is at the bottom.
Oh
And
my
I,
goodness.
yeah, oh my goodness, indeed. And I am Paul, and this is GI Joburg. And hello, guys, and hello, Burgforce. How is everybody?
It's time to talk about the General Hawk.
About
Oh
the
my goodness.
general.
How's it taking us so long to talk about General Hawk? I mean, like, he's a no-brainer. Like, he's like the leader of G.I. Joe, you know?
I
Like,
Well, the
feel.
premise of our fabulous toy-focused chats is that this toy has to be owned by all 1, 2, 3 of us.
yes,
And
that's
Hawk
so true.
happens to be one of those guys. It just sort of randomly popped into my head, like, oh wait, we've all got Hawk. Surely we've got all got Hawk.
Come
This figure
on.
must have been produced in massive numbers because, boy howdy, have I encountered a lot of Hawks in my travels. So yes, naturally, you both have one. I have one. I have
Mhm.
2, maybe 3. I don't know.
Whoa.
You
There are a
even
few Hawks
have
kicking around.
you even have my original Hawks backpack.
Whoa.
Me?
Yeah. Yes, I gave it to
You
you.
stop. Oh.
Oh
It
boy.
must
It,
even
yeah.
filtered. He was
I
like,
think I might have passed that
mine.
on to Rob. I think
Ooh,
if that
Well,
is
then
indeed
I
true.
own it. If that
it
is a
is very
true
much
story.
true. I didn't have any use for it at the time when I gave it to you, and you seemed very keen, so I gave it to
Yeah,
you.
he was keen to give it to me.
Excellent. Well,
I
yes,
don't think you
then there
had
has
one at
been
the
a
time for some reason.
wonderful undercurrent, sort of currency trading amongst GI Joburg members because, yes, we do all have Hawks. We do all have Hawk backpacks and helmets. The gun, a little bit more elusive.
Ooh,
I have
I
a
got
personal
one.
yeah,
anecdote linked to the
I don't
gun.
have that.
Oh, I'm excited to hear about that.
Are
And
you excited to hear about that? Well, okay. Let me take you all the way back to the year 1998.
Oh,
The
wow.
internet
wow.
was still in its infancy, but thanks to Toy Fair magazine, little S Jubs knew that you could go onto the internet and go onto certain websites, and they had
Ooh.
toys for sale. You would
Oh my
send them
goodness.
money, more on that later, and they would send you toys. The money thing, tricky. As a
Mm.
South African, you had to beg, or as a South African child who did not yet possess a credit card, you had to somehow convince your parent, who did have a credit card, that they can trust the internet. Yeah, with their credit card details. But it wasn't really that easy. You had to go onto a website called Western Union. Yeah, the very same Western Union that was around when Doc Brown hid the time machine. And Western Union, you would pay them using your credit card because they had credit card facilities. They could accept money from abroad. They would then create a money order and
MoneyGram, yeah.
mail it,
Hmm.
snail mail within the US to the people that you want to buy your toys from.
Wow.
Hmm.
Is that really
Once
how
that
we did
money
it
order
back
was
then?
received, hopefully they'd have some record that you were sending a money order to them. Because then they join the dots and say, okay, this has been paid for. We can now ship this order.
We just got some money in. I wonder where this comes from. Let's figure it out.
So I did business with a company called Amok Time,
Ah.
Mm.
and they had very low res images of like their stock in trade. I think by the time the money order was received for my Hawk action figure and the Tomahawk helicopter, I was like, I'm doubling up on Hawks, man. My 2 favorite Hawks. They got to be the first things that I buy off the internet. Once that money order was received, they were like, "Oh, sorry, we're out of stock on the Tomahawk, but we can send you a Hawk." So begrudgingly, I was like, "Okay, cool." Then they got to action a refund, which I don't know how that would have worked. Hopefully, my father got his money back. And that was another thing. No internet banking, so you had to wait for your monthly statement, which had been posted to you snail mail before you could determine what had come off, what had gone back on.
Hmm.
Oh, headache. Anyway, long and short of it is they did send a hawk. This very hawk that I have in my hand.
Whoa.
But he came with Flint's backpack, not the hawk backpack that you see here. And he came with Lifeline's silver pistol. And I knew it was Lifeline straight away because I had Lifeline as a child and promptly lost his pistol, but not before like etching that familiar design into my memory.
Into your brain.
Yeah. So
Mm.
what a dud. I must have been in my 30s before I finally had his actual what the card contents say is a Walther PPK, but we all know that is not a Walther PPK.
No way in hell.
It's more of a 45.
The
But it
biggest.
is Keelhall's gun done up in black, and I'll put it to you that it's probably the best hero pistol. Somewhere between this and Chuckles is the best, like, G.I. Joe, good
Love
guy
Chuckles
pistol.
gun.
Oh, I can feel
Yeah.
the comments heating up.
All
Ooh.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Look,
hearing the faint clickety clack of keyboard warriors.
on the baddies side, I'd say the best pistols are Zartans and Destros. On the goodies side, it's Keelhall / Hawk or Chuckles. Take your pick. Would you agree with me,
Mm.
gents?
Yeah.
100%.
I
Yeah. I
think
can't think of better ones.
I think I would only add, and you may disagree with me heavily here, but I might add Metalhead's hand pistol to the mix
Mhm.
as well. I also love Metalhead's pistol. I think it's great.
It's got a magazine on the top, doesn't it?
Mm. Yeah,
Or is it on the bottom?
Very
it's like sort of
interesting.
like it's like kind of through the gun. It's weird, but what I like about that
Sure,
gun,
Paul, a real contender there.
no,
Love
but what I
it.
like about it is that in the hands of the figure, it seats nicely, so you can actually point it forward. It doesn't kind of do that, you
Okay.
know, to the side thing that like a lot of handguns do. And I feel like that's always kind of a big thing with GI Joe figures. If they can hold a
Okay.
pistol and the pistol's kind of, dead-eyed, like iron sighted, so to speak, then I think it looks cool. But when it's like kind of like, uh, I'm like, I don't know
Yeah,
what to do
it
with this.
can be
Yeah, it irritates me.
a bit off.
Yeah, but
Okay, so that's how Stephen got his. Well, mine, I mean, it's Stephen. I think several Christmases ago, he kind of like gifted me all of his doubles. Uh, at the time, I think I was like, okay, thanks, Steve. Here's a whole box of like toys you don't feel like owning. These are just like doubles of things that you already have. But over time, I have come to appreciate the fact that he essentially gave me a ton of Joes that I didn't own yet. And amongst them was General Hawk. I would have probably have owned a version of this figure, version 5 of this figure, much earlier if the boxed A10 Thunderbolt 1997 version of the Rattler, the GI Joe hero version, actually came with the figures it was supposed to come with. Um, it did not. I did get the inferior version of his helmet though. I mean, this is his actual helmet, but I did get the terrible kind of like bucket helmet that I got that at least.
oh,
Um,
the accessory pack thing.
No. His real helmet.
Oh, his real helmet.
We can get into the merits of the accessories, sure. Yeah. It's perhaps not the best.
it's not the best, but it feels appropriate to him somehow. It's got the goggles on there, and the shape is nice. But the version that would have come with the version 5 was literally just a little plastic bucket that went on his head. But like looking at pictures of it, I'm actually very sad that I never was able to get that version. He kind of it's a nice recoloring of the original version, and he even has like an American flag on his right shoulder. So it's very much kind of like the aviation version of this version. Although looking at pictures of him on Yojo, like the paint job on his face is much worse, version 5, or at least on the version that they have showing on Yojo. Uh, so maybe it's good that I didn't get him. I don't know.
Yeah, those 15th anniversary figures were not great.
Yeah.
They had a kind of a waxy flesh tone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, same sculpt but different plastic quality, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
the way that they painted it was not as good as the original.
I'm sorry you didn't get that version, but at the same time, you got that A10 at a steal because it had been previously opened,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it was complete, the plane was complete, you won that day, Rob.
Yeah,
Let's
that was the
go.
most important thing. Absolutely, for sure.
And for anyone
Correct.
wondering, I will now bring up an image of said 15th anniversary hawk, courtesy of yojo.com. Rest
Oh
in
my
peace.
word! Looks like Toll Booth is dressing up as General Hawk.
Curiously
Terrible.
enough, he came with a original 13 style helmet.
Yes, yeah. So that's the kind of a helmet, but very different from the one that version 2 comes with. Interesting, different color scheme, kind of the gray pants and kind of like a more grayy
Oh
brown,
shit! That looks crap.
more of a
Sorry.
burnt brown. I know for sure the face looks awful. And the
Oh wow!
color
Is this a
color
bucket of
painting is
chum?
really quite bad. Um, but I don't know. Somehow I still like that he kind of, but they have kind of painted in the collars a bit better, or they've added more colors to the collars. So on the original, it's kind of just brown on brown. There's no extra detailing there. On this version, they've actually added
The
the
inner shirt.
fur. Yeah, the inner shirt and the kind of like the fur. It is a bit of a furry ruffy, like a ruffle, like around his
Well, it's a bomber jacket
That's a
technically.
bomber jacket, yeah. So it has that kind of like inner fur thing kind of peeking out there.
Yeah, the lambskin.
That's
The
one
lamb.
detail I do
Lamb.
like. And as I mentioned, also the fact that he has the flag on his right shoulder as well. I quite like that detail too.
Though sticklers for, military uniforms will argue that the flag should be reversed. Should
Because
always
Yes.
he's
have the
Oscar
stars
Mike.
leading.
Yeah. No, that is yeah.
Yeah, because he's on
I am
mission.
aware of that.
Yo, this
Anyway,
is.
I did not expect to talk about that version of Hawk.
Well, I just had to bring it up, because
I was
I
sitting here.
him much earlier.
Okay, no, I will get into it now. It's
Yes. Were you
what
trying
is
to
an
Rob,
M?
remember
while we're on
What
the
is an
topic of your specific Hawk's um, providence,
from
whatever. The, the
claim?
the exact story of your hawk is he was picked up at Deer Hunter, which was a South
Ah.
African retro store which was in Johannesburg. That's where
Ooh.
I first encountered them. Then they moved the whole shebang to Cape Town. They had a massive store by then. Lots of
Please,
Star Wars stuff,
Daddy?
particularly, but a handful of Joes.
Mm.
I picked up Hawk, Hooded Cobra Commander, a Viper, and Leatherneck. And the General Hawk and the Leatherneck are from that particular score.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Well,
Nice.
thank you, dear Hunter.
exactly.
So, Paul, what is the history with your General Hawk? Where did yours come from?
Well, I love it when Steve says we're doing version 2 Hawk, and my brain only has two versions of Hawk in the 80s. Screw you, green shirt. So this whole episode, I'm like, yeah, Jetpack
It's
Hawk, it's gonna rock, we're gonna be cool.
gonna be
And then we're talking
awesome.
about this one. So now,
Oh, seriously? Have you only just realized?
yeah,
Wow. Which I
that's
mean,
why I started off by saying my Jetpack Hawk's backpack belongs one I gave you, Steve, and that's
Oh,
oh my
yeah,
goodness. Well, I mean,
right.
fair enough. I mean, it's an honest mistake to make because I mean, for us, we never got, or at least to my knowledge, we never got the original 13 version of Hawk. For
no,
my
and
entire life, this is what Hawk has looked like to me. This
very
is
much
this is who Hawk is. Like
well,
I've
yeah,
never thought of him as a blonde guy.
yeah, as Duke Nukem, yeah, exactly. It's the same for me.
Like
Like
this is version 1 of Hawk.
like my brain is so messed up with that original 13 Hawk that for the longest time, whenever I saw that, I just thought it was somebody else, like Steeler or somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I just never like clicked that we got Hawk as an original 13. Like I know I see it a lot, it's just it doesn't
Yeah.
like stick in my brain because I always thought because of how difficult he was to get when they did the 25th anniversary.
Mm.
25th the 25th anniversary line of Hawks was like really hard because you had to get him. I think he came with there was like a set with an armadillo and a Mobat and a trouble bubble and his tank or something, and that all came together, or his, and that all came
I
together, and
think
it was
I
like,
think he was a comic pack, Paul. I think you might be
or
thinking
it
of
could have been that,
Super
yeah.
Fuse.
But
No,
even the
no,
comic pack
Ultimate Double
isn't
Pack.
easy to get
I think
necessarily.
both are true. I think the comic pack, it's comic pack, and he was in that bundled set. Like there's,
Okay.
but I remember like not being like like only being interested in getting that figure once when because I had like a bit of a 13 original OG13 kick for the modern era, and I wanted to try and get all of them, all the 25th anniversary, and then it just ended up being like a huge slap, lot of money for, to be quite honest, pretty uninteresting figures, if I may say so. And
Mm.
so I never like pursued it, so it's just kind of gone under my brain, which brings us all the way to 85 Hawk, which
86.
86 Hawk, sorry.
Error.
I have to make that mistake at least once. I even saw the date now, even double checked, so that I wouldn't make this mistake, and here I am. My 86 Hawk comes from the ice cream tubs from that awesome OLX purchase that I made, the great one.
Mm.
Sean, if you're watching this episode, thank you again, my dude. You have no idea. You have,
So both of you guys have original South African stock.
yeah, which is pretty
Yay.
Nice
cool.
to
So,
know.
and I, that's great because that Hawk, just my kind of like touching into that Hawk, and I feel like this will segue into our next sort of section of this. Uh, that was like for me, Hawk was always talking battle commandos because of
Ooh.
Atlantis Factor,
Hmm.
because of the video game.
Oh, because of the video game,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was always my Hawk, and then also that's the version I got as a toy. Only after that would I get Jetpack Hawk, and then find out that Jetpack Hawk was in GI Joe, the video game, the first one, where you use him at the end. Spoilers. Which because I finished Atlantis Factor and then only got the first game later. Even though I'd played a bit of it before, I'd only got the actual game for myself and witnessed the whole Hawk thing. So my Hawk has always been talking Battle Commanders Hawk, but enter the cartoon and we got this
Mm.
insanely cool version of Hawk, and I was always like, "Ah, that is rad. Why didn't we get him in South Africa either?" And I always had like a strong fondness for him. Even I even went out of my way to get the 25th anniversary one, and it was also quite a notable sideshow collectibles purchase for me as well, is having that Hawk because, in fact, that I can remember getting. It was on the Christmas party of the one company I was working to. I had to divert FedEx to go and deliver at my boss's house, and I gave them each a Heineken. So thank you for that.
See you
Rich
guys. Enjoy
bros.
the rest of your night. Have a good delivery with
Yeah,
your
thank
beer in
you
hand.
for. Yeah, because it was so close to Christmas that, like, I think had I waited, they would have only been able to deliver maybe in the new year. So it
Oh
worked out really well.
no, that would have ruined that
But
Christmas.
yeah, that's how I got my Hawk, is through the ice cream tubs of awesomeness, and
Hmm.
still very impressed with that toy. But we're gonna get into all of that just now. Um, I think this is the part where we get into the. When is the first time you encountered Leather Jacket Hawk? Should we call him Bomber Jacket Hawk? Was it the
I
comic books
would
for you
also
guys?
like,
How did it all go
just on the
down?
back of our OG13 discussion,
Mm.
I think Hawk represents the clearest case of a V2 totally eclipsing the V1.
Mm.
Can you think of another example where a V1 is completely made redundant and skippable by the V2? I took the longest time
Snake
to
Eyes.
get Hawk OG13 into my collection because I felt like he's just so bland.
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
no personality.
it's like
But
Odo,
that's the
bro.
problem with I suppose, with most of the OG13, except say I'd say probably Snake Eyes and Stalker. They really,
Scarlet.
and Scarlet, yeah, because they are the three unique characters of the line. The rest are very much just green shirts.
Yeah, to my mind, there is no V2 that more completely eclipses the V1 than Hawk
100%, yeah.
and almost changes the character of him. Yes, it's true that he's now a general, and that does give the character even more power
Mm-hmm.
and high stakes. But even down to the hair color, just giving him a completely different look and feel, a greater distinction from, say, Duke, who, at least on the cartoon, he replaced as the sort of the commander in chief of GI Joe.
Mm.
Yeah, man, this is the one to beat. But let's talk about the cartoon. Arise, Serpentor Arise was his cartoon debut, September of 1986. Of course, he's debuting in the first part, and it's like he was always there.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of waltzes in unceremoniously as the leader of GI Joe. And
And
I mean, they even have to have that like additional call out scene where Flint sets Beachhead right, saying, "But you're not in charge of GI Joe, Beachhead. First
He
comes
is.
Hawk, then Duke, then me, then you." Was I doing
Yeah.
my best, Bill Ratner? I don't know. It sounded all right in
Incredible.
my head, but I do have a cold.
Sounded good.
So yeah, Hawk just—it's as if he always was there, but of course he wasn't, because we did not see Colonel Hawk in the first scene or first season of the Sunbow cartoon. So where to go? I don't know. Did you guys just accept that? I suppose we all watched the cartoon after the fact, so
Yeah, it was
we knew who
completely
Hawk
out of
was, even though
sequence.
he wasn't in the first season.
I
It's
had no
perhaps
choice,
assumed that he
man.
was like desk status or
Hmm.
something.
No, I had no choice. I think, if I think about all the episodes of the cartoon I watched when I watched it, there was no Hawk. I think no. I think if there was Hawk, it was very brief, and then he was in the movie. So it's like, oh, that's Hawk. You know,
Hmm.
that's
Did you not
I.
watch the sort of season 2, season 1 all mixed up?
I didn't have that opportunity because
Okay.
when I was younger, all of the videotapes that we had was Order Cobra, No Place Like Springfield, and um, the one with the Think the Montana, and then there
Okay.
was another one. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, the Captors of Cobra. Those were the only ones we had.
I
Hmm.
think
So
Sync the Montana is a second season, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, but it was also at the end of the credits on the Tempo videos, GI Joe the movie or Action Force the movie, should I say? If you watch the entire GI Joe movie and the credits, it's actually an Easter egg. They included after the credits, which is quite cool.
Ah, sneaky.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was one of those kids that sometimes when the videotape was in, I was too lazy to get up to because we never had a VCR with a working remote. I want people to know this.
Oh, you had
And
to get up, you
so I
puss.
had to get up, and I was always like either drawing or playing with toys, and it'd be like, oh, so I just let it play out. And then the one day, to my surprise, it played out, and I found this Sync the Montana. I was very excited, and I told Dave about it, and we watched it. It's
Well,
very
then, Paul,
interesting.
you must have been very aware of the feature of VHSs or VCRs that if you let it play till the end of the tape, it stops and automatically rewinds.
Not my VCR, but yes, David's one did
Hmm.
that.
Oh, we had a Mitsubishi. It was fancy like that.
Yeah, David's was
Ooh.
like at the time when Sansui was actually like a really top tier brand. David had a Sansui.
I think the
And
one
what?
we
It
were
would reach the
Sony.
end of the tape and would just stop dead.
okay.
That
Yeah,
couldn't have
mine
been
would
good
just
for the
stop dead.
head.
It'd be like time to press that rewind. I had a Philips
Finished.
VCR.
Yeah,
It
we
also
didn't
fell off the
have.
back of a truck. So
Oh, wow, that's
yes,
lucky.
yeah,
Son of a policeman. I like it. I'm
indeed.
confiscating this shipment of expensive electronics. You can collect it from us. Never.
Hence no remote control, and also never knowing how to set the timer on the damn thing.
Hmm.
Let it be said that while other kids had Rubik's cubes, I had every single TV and VCR and electronic device in the house to set with no manual. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Sure. Hot electronics flowing
Hey,
through the Lobsher residence.
yes, not
Right,
hot,
Rob,
not hot, just a
let's do a
VCR,
quick
dude.
diversion. What was your experience with
Yeah, quickly. Oof.
VCRs you were about to say?
I was yeah no we didn't own a VCR when I was growing up. So we used whatever the Blockbuster I think they rented. I don't
Oh,
remember
cool.
the model, but it was one of the ones where it kind of like popped up
Oh, so
and you
nice.
kind of slid the
Oh,
tape in and you pushed it down. And I
my
feel like
school had one of those.
it did auto rewind. I feel like it did. If it was fancy enough to do that, cool action. Yeah, so we rented it whenever we rented movies, and then yeah, and then I think yeah, after matric and onwards, my mother's husband had his own VCR, and that had a remote and everything. So
Guys, I would like to preface we actually did have a VCR that was
hmm.
stolen in a house robbery. And then when the insurance replaced everything, we had a new VCR. I'd also like to mention that both VCRs didn't have remote controls, or rather, the one had the wrong one,
Oh
and they had
boy.
no manuals. Let's continue. Sorry, Rob.
No, no worries. I was done talking about
um,
VCRs.
the
Let's
top
not
loading,
implicate ourselves in a crime from like 30 years ago, hey Paul.
dude, the top loading VCRs to me that was always like a Rolls Royce kind of thing. Like my school had one, and it was like
Huh.
amazing. I always
It
thought
was
that's
great
amazing.
fun.
Yeah,
It made the whole experience more fun. You kind of like pressed it and go, gah, and you had to make sure you
yeah,
pushed it down. And of course, the one I was using was obviously a
and it would
rental.
light
So
up
you had to be sure, like, gah, gah, kind of went
because the
down
school
properly.
one would light up because it had an amber kind of colored tape deck,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put it down, and then it would light up. It had like an orange glow to it,
Well, that's
and I always thought
fancy.
that was so awesome. And in my mind, that it just contributes to the cyberpunk kind of visual, um, the visual
It's like
library in my
fucking
brain.
Tron inside there, dudes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's
Wow.
like yes, there's like the future in there. Also, yeah, so just a bit of like a little bit of fun fact, Paul. Like maybe that triggers some memories. I'd love to see some comments about your school's VCR player. Were you in the
Mm.
AV club? Because America had those. In South Africa, we didn't have an AV club. We had a you go to the media center and touch the video player, and you go and help him carry the TV. Kids watching TV.
No,
And
man,
then
we
we got a
came up in the
trolley. Goes,
time with the TV VHS combos. So you just have
oh,
that on the big, like,
Justin had
tall
one of
wheelie cart.
those. I watched
Mm.
Aliens on one of those. Like,
Oh, cool.
oh, it was amazing. And then also Transformers. I watched that on there. Well, half of a Transformers episode because it had an ad for the Kawasaki Ninja.
Hmm.
How ridiculous, though. If we think about, like, home cinema setups now, to think back to being at the back of a classroom with one of those tiny 4x3 CRT VHS TV combos on top of like a wheelie tower. Like, what could we actually see? I remember endlessly watching Happy Gilmore, the Adam Sandler film.
We watched that in primary school too. It was the
Oh
first time I
boy,
watched that
I
shit.
guess you
I
can't
love
go
that movie.
wrong. It's sport themed and it's comedy. Boys, just watch that shit.
No, we watched it last day of school, in standard four. What is that? Grade five. Uh, we watched that in grade five. It was the last day of school. We watched it in the media center. But what is not amazing is that this video player was there with the TV. What is actually amazing is that you could put 34 children in a room, and all of them shut it the hell up enough so that you
Hmm.
could hear what is coming out of the TV.
Hmm.
Like that
Yeah.
in itself was impressive. You know,
Kids these days will never
they
understand.
will never understand.
But,
But
gentlemen,
back to
boy, oh
Hawk.
boy, let's wrestle this one back. I mean, fun as it is to reminisce about the times of the VHS. Hawk makes his first comic book appearance in this guise in issue 46, right?
Hmm.
He gets promoted to general the previous issue, and then by 46, he gets to unveil the new toy. It's courtesy of Rod Wiggum on the art chops. This is definitely his prime time. The cover's a Mike Zeck, of course, but we see Hawk enter the pit, and everyone gets called to attention. And yeah, he gets a nice, almost. Well, no, it is a full length shot of him in the bomber jacket, the camo pants, the Han Solo esque belt with the pistol, the revolver on the chest. I mean, he's doubling up on pieces, man. He's wow,
He's ready
definitely
to
is
go
GI Joe
into the
general.
field.
But what do you notice about his head, guys?
He's blonde, bro. What the
Still
hell?
Literally,
blonde.
what's on top of it? Yep, the comic book stuck with the blonde hair. And I mean, we can applaud that consistency, but it does create a hell of a inconsistency in terms of trying to reconcile the toy, the cartoon, the comic book. Where do you guys sit on the hair controversy?
I don't like blonde Hawk.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
Wow. Case closed.
For me, for like I can be quite indecisive, but I don't like blonde Hawk. Never have. I've liked Duke being blonde, and I like Hawk being a brunette.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that because I mean, like, having grown up with him being how he looks as the toy,
Hmm.
like this is how I see him. I see him with this kind of like light. No, I don't even know what color this is because it's not like dark brown, which is what I like about it. It's not like a dark brown.
It's like a
So it's like a
hazel,
hazel,
chocolate,
yeah, chocolatey hazel color.
Nutella brown.
Um, this should be his hair color. So,
Oh,
but I suppose once you've established a hair color for a character, especially in a comic book, you kind of have to carry it through. he can't like suddenly like show up with a new outfit and he's got a new hairstyle. He's like, "Hey guys, so it's starting to get a bit, I don't know, like
I'm glad the comics never like
I
changed on
dyed
that.
my hair."
Yeah.
There's another issue that I have, perhaps. I mean, sure, characters are
Uh-oh.
allowed to change their hairstyle, but Hawk and Duke are always flip-flopping in terms of their styles. Case in point, like Duke, when introduced, definitely had the flop top kind of, side parting dad haircut, right?
Mm.
Hawk, in the sort of original 13 era, had a box top, had like, high and tight, shaved sides. But then in this general Hawk appearance, Hawk now is rocking the side parting flop top. He's obviously a little bit older now, though it does actually have the opposite effect of making him look youthful, if I'm being honest.
It does.
And there are times when Duke isn't then, sergeant, first sergeant, totally like high and tight, shaved on the sides and back. Like, I mean, I'm glad we can kind of, as hardcore Joe fans, make the distinction. But boy, oh boy, if you're more peripheral, you are definitely going to have trouble distinguishing these two guys.
Mm.
Yeah, you would definitely confuse them. But
So,
thankfully, I mean, once they gave him this outfit, I'd like to think it would be much easier to distinguish the two of them. This is kind of like his costume, you know. It is
yeah,
more distinctive from Hawk now. I mean, from Duke now.
you did it. You did it. Well,
Mm.
yes,
Yeah.
to remove any ambiguity, I too am a Hawk is a brunette kind of guy.
There we
I'm
go.
not surprised in the face of the fact that, I came up reading the comic book long before I had the action figure.
Mm.
But I'd made peace with the fact that the action figure had brown hair long before I got the action figure. So I do appreciate making that distinction. But yes, I totally can see the point of guys in the comic book corner saying my Hawk is blonde.
My Hawk.
Mm.
I
Mm.
wish for those guys the action figure had become more consistent. But those them's the breaks. And I
Talk
shudder to
about
think, but I think
my Hawk.
Hawk version 2
My
is perhaps
Hawk.
a perfect action figure. I don't know, guys. Would you back me up on that?
Who said he was a perfect
Ooh.
action figure?
Hair notwithstanding, I am going to say Hawk V2
Steven did.
1986 is perfection.
Wow.
Are you talking about what you're holding in your hand or fully geared up?
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Whoa.
Because while I agree with that statement with the thing that you're holding in your hand, which is just Hawk in his normal duds, no weapons, no
No
helmet.
gun. I got gun there.
Oh, you
You
got a
got a
gun. Oh,
gun?
sorry, I couldn't see it. It was, it's
Gun
well
gun is an important
It's
part of the
hidden.
recipe
it
because the holster is empty.
empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So those two are married. The figure and the pistol, you can't disassociate those.
I think,
However,
however,
let's talk about this thing. This debacle, this helmet.
yes. While I don't hate it, I do feel it hurts the figure.
Sure.
It's
Well,
very
Why
chunky.
is that, Paul?
it physically hurts the figure.
Yeah, it's really big. So like, oh, it just hurts him somehow. Like I feel like, we already had one or two toys by that point that had dainty like accessories. I feel like they could have tried to make the helmet a bit more dainty and more like, I don't know, just thinner because it just gives him such a big head.
Well, let's
It,
do a quick tour of some other helmets. Here is Hawk with his original helmet with
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
visor.
look bad.
doesn't look too. The visor's a bit weird.
The visor is a bit weird, but if you
For this context, yeah.
think, well, let me just remove it. Very
Whoa,
nerve-wracking,
fragile
because those bloody
40-year-old.
clear visors, at least the originals, are not that easy to get. Yeah, it's a much lower profile, but it being smooth and not having any
It's
fabric covering makes it look very old
missing.
school.
Yeah,
So
it's
Yeah.
let's
missing
upgrade him.
something. The detailing that his actual one has.
Oh
This
wait,
is 1985 Bazooka's helmet.
you know that does look a little better in some ways,
It's
yeah.
robbed of the goggles, but it
Yeah.
does have a nicer proportion to it. Then flashing all the way forward to 1991, this is Grunt.
There we
Brunette.
go. Dies the peel for Sunny.
Unfortunately, it being a rubbery helmet, it does kind of push out the sides a bit more.
But not as much as his actual one.
Yeah, it somehow
Yeah.
it does look better. The
Does look-
green aside, the coloring aside, it does from to my eye, it does look better. It just gives him a better look.
Yeah, but I mean, as you're saying, I mean, like the helmet is oversized, but the really big problem with his helmet is it is so tight on his head.
Yeah.
Like taking it on and off, you really are going to end up kind of like smoothing out, actually taking some of the paint off on his head over time.
Oh, for sure.
Constantly taking the helmet on and off. Like until you did this comparison, I actually didn't have much of a problem with the size of the helmet personally.
Sorry.
But now that you've like compared them to other ones, I'm like, wow, it really does look quite big.
It does. I hate to be that guy with it because we are trying to scrutinize these. I mean, at the end of the day,
No, for sure. You have to be able to see the bad for the good.
I'm not sitting here going, "Oh my word, I want to play with that hawk because he's got that green helmet. What the hell?" You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just like we are just, we're scrutinizing it for the sake of what we're here. Let's scrutinize
That's
it.
what we're here for.
But Steve, what else makes you say he's a perfect figure? Because there's one feature that he has that I really appreciate from
Oh,
this. I like
no, I thought you were going to break the other way.
no, I really
No.
like the jacket. I like the way that the jacket is handled. You know, it just works. It's it just somehow just marries well. It is meant to be a jacket, but it doesn't. It just works. It really works very well, and I have trouble faulting it a lot of the time.
Look, if you saw a man, particularly a man of Hawk's kind of stature and rank, in a bomber jacket that high, you'd be like, "Whoa, pink lady,
Yeah,
where's John Travolta at?" that's that's high, man. That elastic is cinched way up, like that's basically on his navel.
yeah,
I mean, it
true.
really accentuates his butt. Let's be honest.
Well,
It does.
but that's a conceit of him being an action figure, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, the construction. I mean, flip it and say, okay, let's have him blouse his jacket below his belt line. Then it would kind of be a brown color break on his
Well,
crotch
well,
piece.
either that or you wouldn't get that detailing. It would essentially go into
it'd just
his
be smooth,
into the crotch and be smooth.
like it's tucked in or something,
But it
which is
loses
weird.
a bit of detail there, I think.
Yeah, and also like when I was growing up, and I mean I'm pointing at the police here, but I don't think that was a specific trend amongst like officer types. But the police also had like their bomber jackets and things like that as well here. And
Hmm.
like the Dutchmen, they can like to wear the bomber jacket sides quite high there on the waist, ne? Like above the belt, lekker so. So
It's a
and then
very
also
well
quite
tailored look, man.
quite far here zipped up, yeah. So it doesn't look too framed to my eyes, too strange.
And he
Um,
has just enough like color accents as well. It's the brown and then the green of the pants and the green kind of camo on it.
mm,
And then like little things just picked out in black. And then his double buckles. So obviously he has the holster belt on, um, both in silver. I
yeah,
Now
like the look of that double belt.
there is
I think it
a
adds
color
something.
pop which, since we all have played with Hawks,
Hmm.
we're all gonna be absent on. But a truly mint Hawk will have lovely gold on his sort of combat infantryman's badge, on
hmm
his
Ooh.
pistol grip that's on his chest holster, and even on his epaulets, he would
yes.
have those stars painted gold. Because yes, he's a one-star general. He's got stars on each of his shoulder pauldrons, um, and
Oh
they would
my
actually be
goodness.
picked out in gold. But I'm pretty
I've
sure
never
none of ours
seen
have that.
that. I mean, even the version on Yo Joe doesn't have that detailing anymore.
Well, here's the thing: that gold paint application was so light that it could probably disappear even without play,
Just
even without
breathing
any
on
kind
it.
of rubbing.
Some technical things there as well is that metallic paint by its very nature has a very fragile binder.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's why you'll generally find with these toys the silver is the first kind of color to start getting rubbed before others. because its binder is a lot weaker. And yeah, gold is. I think gold at that, especially at that time,
Oh, that's
was
amazing.
even
So
weaker.
Stephen is showing us now images of a mint on card
God, yeah.
hawk, thanks to 3D Doors. 3D Doors, thanks guys. Um, wow. So he actually had the little gold details, and even the holster of his gun had gold in it.
Mm.
So I can see just a bit of a dash of gold on mine. Like, I
Well,
mean,
for you, my
it
friend,
is,
that's what
it's
a gold
still.
sharpie is for. Reapply.
Because I mean, like it still has it. Like there's a very faint gold, more so kind of
Mm.
from above.
It
Um,
fades to more of a bronze before it disappears
yes,
completely. But a mint
that's
on card
wild.
sample, you might actually see the sort of vividness of how gold the gold was.
That's beautiful, and it kind of ties into his version 3, doesn't it? I mean, version
Yeah,
3 is being very much like
golden
a
green,
gold figure.
basically.
Yeah, golden
Mm.
green.
And
It's
light
a
brown.
handsome color palette that does scream Hawk.
What a
Mm.
Like,
great
because he's your
detail.
top man in G.I. Joe, yes, he's got all the sort of the OD green elements like the camo pants, but then he's got those pops of gold, which is something you see mirrored in other leadership figures like Flint. I mean, if you've got
Mm.
a mint Flint, you know that he's got all of those shotgun shells with like a brass or a gold picked out and the shoulder
Mint Flint's
flashes.
got that brass gold glint.
Yo, bro.
Boom.
Maybe
Royberg
Flint, we
there.
should queue him up
Boom.
for another action figure focus. I'm in the mood
Ooh.
to do
Ooh.
G.I. Joe leadership, and Flint is a
Oof.
overachiever, second to none.
Extraordinaire.
Hmm.
What an incredible detail to see. Like these must have been so minty. I mean, obviously they were minty fresh when you got them straight out of the packaging. But it's nice to realize there are details to this figure that I never knew existed.
Hey, here on GI
Cool.
Joburg.
Here on
Yeah.
GI Joburg, since I am on 3D Joe's excellent website,
Mm.
let's scroll down, look at his file card, give it a read, and figure out
Yes, Rob, give
what
it a
our
read.
understanding of this guy's character is. Rob, do you want to do some reading for us?
Oh my goodness. So
Double prompted.
we have Clayton Abernathy. His primary specialty is artillery. His secondary specialty is radar. He's from Denver, Colorado, and he
Hey.
is a brigadier general. Hawk was the original field commander of the Joe team before he got his general's star and was booted upstairs to honcho the entire GI Joe operation. He's a West Point graduate and has a list of special education credits as long as his arm, but he still managed to get the main body of his experience out there where it counts, on the battlefield. Hawk's the type of commander who goes out and gets shot at like everyone else. Troops respect that. Uh, they know he won't ask them to do anything he isn't willing to do himself, and that's why they are willing to do anything Hawk tells them. Woo.
Right. So, this card is definitely making him out to be the man,
Yeah.
the
He
leader
is.
of men,
Oof.
the kind of general who leads from the front. Is this a puff
Yes.
piece, or do you guys play Hawk this way?
I play Hawk
Ooh.
this way, big time. Because
Okay, selfless leader.
yeah,
100%. And he is like this. I mean, you see him in the comics being like this. You know, there's often many missions where you see him leading. I mean, we most recently we actually looked at an issue that he was in, with the sea commander, the Sea Devil, um, whatever issue that was, 60 something, 90 something, with the first appearance of the Sea Devil. Um,
Devilfish.
that one, the devilfish, where he's literally leading. He's in the whale. He kind of climbs on with a beachhead, the new recruits beachhead and wetsuit, and he kind of like goes out there and actually is leading them in the field. So it's not just propaganda. This file card. He's literally shown to be that way in the comics.
Hawk in the
Devilfish.
comics has a checkered past in that, like, he's not above tossing his own men into the meat grinder.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember the early issue.
Yeah, as early as issues 6 and 7,
Mm,
sort of the mission to Afghanistan to recover a uh, hover, I don't know, new
some sort of
technology
technology, yeah.
aircraft.
And he didn't tell them that actually your entire mission was to not retrieve it, but we weren't going to
Well,
tell
no,
you
he
that.
just they were the cover story. The actual recovery mission was they were a misdirection.
Yes,
Stalker's
but he
team.
didn't tell them that. He was like, "This is your mission, guys. You have to go do this."
They wind up risking their lives just to secure a bunch of scrap metal, whereas the
Mm.
actual aircraft got smuggled out
When you
days
sign
ago.
up to the military, you sign up for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
It's not
yes, the
Hawk's fault.
Farcard
Mm.
will not bang on about the fact that while he is selfless and he does see a lot of action, because let's face it, you want to sell this toy hard, you don't want to be selling a desk driver. Um, he is not above, at least in the comic book, which is always going to be more nuanced and more adult. He's not above like sacrificing his troops,
Yeah,
making
but I
the
mean
tough calls.
that's the sort of that's the kind of knowledge and experience he gets by being out in the battlefield. He knows that sometimes you have to make those calls to be able to get to be able to complete the mission.
I
Well,
feel like though there was a potential opening for a plot that was never followed up on,
Hmm.
where Joe's get back from this kind of hairy mission that was clearly like an exercise in futility, and they actually get kind of pissy with Hawk, even
Hmm.
potentially physical with him. Um, it's never picked up on that like they think of him as a bit of a dirtbag. There's a little elements of it in Steeler's file card
Hmm.
where it goes into the fact that he's a blue collar guy and he regularly butts head with authority. And I
mm,
mean,
Hmm.
at the time in the OG-13, as it turns out, Steeler, being I think a lieutenant, was the second highest ranked member of GI Joe.
Hmm.
Or he was a captain. Either way, he was an officer, and it felt like, at least on some level, it was primed for there to be a conflict with Hawk. Like if someone was going to have a problem with Hawk's leadership style, it would be Steeler. Steeler as a character, unfortunately, really kind of dropped off the scales quite quickly.
You
Once
could
the Mobac stopped
argue,
being sold, there's Steeler's like primary reason for being
yeah,
disappearing.
he's kind of out there. I mean, you could argue in those earlier missions as well, he was following orders more than just giving them out himself.
But he did seem to be more of a company man. I mean,
Hmm.
that role that Hawk is seen playing in 6 and 7 kind of gets taken over by like government organs like the CIA in later
Hmm.
issues, in special missions,
Yeah,
where
they're
the
the ones that
shows
come
are
along with these missions. Like you guys have to do this mission because we're telling you to. So
yeah, the
yeah, they
shows
do
are the
kind of
honorable
pass it
grunt,
off.
boots on the ground, having to get the unpopular stuff done. It's other people like the FBI, CIA,
That could have
DOA.
been a note from Hasbro or something at some point. It's like don't make our heroes, do kind of be giving out like orders to waste these guys' time or whatever. Don't make
Maybe.
them seem this way. Um,
So yes, basically this file card, it's very virtuous and
well,
a
it's
bit
in
more
line with the
vanilla.
1986. They kind of like I think 1986 is obviously where they do reinvent a lot of these characters. We kind of reintroduce these characters again into a new generation. I mean, it's 4 years later, but still. Um, so they are kind of making them more in line with more of American heroes. Like this is their time to reinvent these characters and make them more heroic than they were when they were initially introduced.
so something. Okay, I hear you, and like it's cool where you're coming
Mm,
from with that. For me, I
mm,
feel it's. I think all those things are true. I think it's Hawk. No, but Hawk is he's the leader of a special forces unit,
mm.
and he's made that mistake as a commander. So he's made that mistake. He's now learned. He shouldn't be like that. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. He's learned. Um, because later on you would have Hawk squaring off against Destro, not like in a firefight per se, but in a bit of a verbal tete-a-tete, like you know,
Oh, they
kind of,
come to blows. They have a fist fight in the back of his tank.
which is cool, but like they also do discuss certain things, and there's a certain respect amongst the two men as well, which is very cool. And that's kind of where Hawk goes to. So I feel like the file card for Hawk is kind of the trajectory of where they wanted his character to go. And then in the comic
Mm,
book, you had to start him off with somewhere because if he comes in and he's holier than thou, he's not an interesting read. If he comes in and you're expecting him to be holier than thou, and he does a few things that are a little against that narrative that's already been sort of you've been conditioned with, then it's interesting to see, oh, okay, he's actually disappointing me, which makes him a real character. Because you're kind of like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm disappointed by the man, you know? Oh, because he's actually that. He's a man. He's going to make mistakes. The other thing that I wanted to mention as well with this is, um, I understand somebody like Steeler from a human level being upset with like Hawk for, putting them into the frying pan, so to speak, and having them potentially risk their lives for bubkits, for bullshit. But that is the military, especially if you're in the special forces. A lot of special forces missions are allegedly, you know, like diversions or covert stuff. I mean, like covert stuff that doesn't necessarily forward anything. It just sometimes creates a bit of heat or attention on them. And I remember reading, and I I, I believe this to be true because it makes sense to me. But the way that special forces are trained when they go away, when they go on mission, is that they will be given a script, a narrative. So they'll be told, for the week before deployment, you have to do this, you have to do that. Your wife knows that this is where you're going, all these things. So that if you're ever captured, nothing that they say registers as a lie, because they can be like, yeah, I attended a football game. Yes, I had a barbecue last summer. Oh, they're like, they can say all these things that are real facts that help them to
Hmm.
withstand torture longer. So them not knowing, the Joes not knowing what the real mission was, is actually for their benefit as well in that respect. So I don't think Hawk is too much of a bad guy. I think it's also just trying to show that he is a tactician.
A
And that
standard
being,
operating procedure. Yeah.
yeah, and that being in the special forces of any military is hard work. It's rough. It's not good for the psyche, and it requires a certain type of person to do it. It's not
Hmm.
glory work.
And also, I mean, the phrase is knowing is half the battle, but I mean, you're not necessarily that half that knows. You know.
Correct. You're the half that does, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's an outside perspective of a non-military person speaking about this. For those of you who might be annoyed or could enlighten us, do so in the
Yeah.
comments. Steve's got
Absolutely. Do.
some comic panels up here.
Just to
Beautiful.
illustrate Hawk's coldness in announcing that the team was a decoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought maybe the art suggested that Stalker wanted to deck him, but it's not like that. I mean, he's not being held back. Everyone looks surprised.
Well,
Because
I mean,
maybe it
even.
did come as a gut
Hmm.
punch.
I know for sure. You're like, yeah, we achieved the mission, Hawk, and he's like, yeah, good job. But I mean, in the end, you could even say this is a mistake on Hawk's part. He shouldn't have told them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Actually, it
discretion.
should have been good job, guys. Well done.
He
And he
doesn't owe them
takes it
any
back up.
explanations. Well, I do like the fact that this character has some ambivalence.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Skybound was onto a very interesting thing until they weren't. I don't know.
Ooh.
There was some
Ooh.
tension brewing between Hawk and Duke, but all that tension has kind of sort of been deflated by what they've chosen to do with Hawk.
Whoa.
I'm not going to
Interesting.
spoil it for anyone not keeping up, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
don't
cool.
ruin
It
it.
introduces another character, but it kind of robs Hawk of any character.
Of Hawkness.
Of
I also hate
Hawkness.
that they've done that to Hawk.
Mm.
And I can't speak too well on this, but I can speak from a very sort of peripheral point of view here.
Mm.
Devil's Due kind of did some weird things with Hawk where I felt that they made him very unlikable, and almost very weak.
Well, they put him in a
And
wheelchair, bud.
yeah, that doesn't make him weak, but what made him
Yeah,
weak is just some of the bullshit that led up to that happening. Like, I don't know. And then there were elements of IDW's run that also kind of played him off to be just not cool. And I feel like it's weird. It's like he has this great moment in the era run, and then he's kind of abused as a character, not by his supporting cast, but he's abused by the writing
by the
in a lot of
writers.
ways. Like, and turned into something that I think is so shit because he does do a lot of, like in Era, we kind of learn about all of the crap that happens above GI Joe's pay grade, like the politics and things like that, and
Yeah,
that
with the jugglers and stuff.
and all that, and how Hawk has been kind of a firewall between the Joes and those guys, and that it's actually a really stressful and horrible position to be in, is
Mm.
politics, because politicians are disgusting, and that whole situation there was really like quite tense, and then they like sort of turned him into a juggler at some point, and I think that was ID. No, that was Devil's Due that did that, and it just kind of muddied things up. And then also Devil's Due had to do their whole Duke going bad. Like, I'm a bad boy now. I've been an agent for so long, and like, sorry, Devil's Due. I understand that the time, required that kind of writing, but there's nothing wrong with keeping good men,
Hmm.
keeping them as good men in these books, and having
Well,
them
I'm
overcome that
I'm interested to
adversity.
see what the Energon universe does with him because he does seem very I wouldn't say two-faced because if you haven't keep with Energon, I mean,
Complicitous.
he's running two teams, like
Yes.
a covert team and then Duke's team.
That
Um,
is what I'm referring to, though, when I say Skybound.
oh, I thought you
Oh,
meant
okay.
Energon
I
Universe.
thought you meant Larry
Hulk.
Hallman. Okay, I actually haven't been keeping up then. Okay,
Well,
interesting.
yes.
Oh
Hmm.
no, I feel
It is.
oh
It
jeez.
is. It's great on one hand, but mildly disappointing on another hand because of what it essentially does to
Oh
Hawk
no,
proper.
now I'm scared to like catch up on these
Me
issues.
too.
But benefit of the
Even
doubt,
Ooh,
we
so.
can always revisit Hawk.
can always come
Yes.
back. But
Um,
in the end,
I would love to find out your honest opinions of what they do to Hawk in the Valor versus Venom movie. But I've been
wow,
threatening to subject you guys to that for the
this
longest
has
time,
been at
and
least
I
a
haven't
good
made good
year
on it.
now.
Maybe
We
the next time we're all
s-
together, I'll
still
show it to
threatening
you,
to
and
do
you
this.
will be amazed.
I'll
Wow.
bring beer.
But bringing it back to the toy, yes, 100% an awesome toy. We've said the helmet is a bit of a disappointment. Cool
What do you
design.
think of the backpack?
The backpack is pretty generic, I feel. I mean, this is
Oh
not
yeah,
a reuse of another backpack.
I like it more than the one that it apes.
Is
So
that the Leathernecks one? No.
Flint.
Flint.
Hmm.
Flint 85, it's a slightly deeper green, whereas Hawks
Hmm.
is a kind of a grayer green. But Hawks is more low profile, so I'm instantly a fan. Flint's is way too pronounced. But it does more or less the same thing. It has a canteen, it has two grenades, it even has a little handheld walkie talkie. It's a nice
Lovely.
detail that I've only actually picked out right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
However,
Sideshow has
it
that. Yeah.
is the kind of backpack that has no visible sort of
Straps.
strappage
Yes.
Oh
on the
no.
figure's sculpt. So it's a magic sort of magnetic backpack, I guess.
It's yeah, it's a backpack because it's cool to have a backpack on your toy, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever really considered as a
Sure, this is a
yeah.
general. He does not
Yes.
need to
He
dress
doesn't
with
need
a
to.
backpack.
Yeah, he wouldn't ever be carrying things really, like in
Also,
this
If
position.
he is actually in the field, it might be smart to have a ruck, particularly one with a walkie-talkie or
Wookie.
two-way.
Yeah,
Hmm.
call that airstrike.
But yeah, look, I'm glad they did not add any sculpt elements to the figure
Yeah, they
because he's
understood the
more often than
assignment.
not wearing the backpack.
I think they just put it in there because they felt he had to come with something. Like he came with a helmet, he came with a gun, he came with a backpack. Like it's just to have something there. It's like we understand he's the general, he's the leader, he leads in the battlefield, so he will have the backpack. But we don't want to ruin the look of his cool jacket with straps.
And just to speak to his character of being in the battle, or being in
Mm.
battle, the GI Joe movie, animated movie, uh, has one scene that kind of I feel highlights that pretty well when he's flying into Conquest. And he's
Mm.
like, I can see the whites of their beady eyes. No, I'm misquoting a little, but I love that, and that's kind of endeared me to Hawk as well. Like he's such a badass,
Yeah.
actually.
Well,
He's
you've teed it up nicely then, Paulie. What is Hawk's best vehicle
chariot.
assignment?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yay. Oh, I have a few, but Rob, do you want to go first, or Shame? Should we let Steve go first?
I think
Okay, Steve
Steve
says
knows
no.
exactly what vehicle he wants to be in. He wants him to be
Well, it's
in.
uninteresting for me to go first. Come
Yeah,
on,
because
That
guys.
he
Keep
is
called
track.
it.
true.
It
Because now
has to be one of us.
you're gonna. I think he should be in the Devilfish. Like he looks fantastic in there because of that amazing appearance in the comics.
Devil fish,
Like
devil fish.
Devilfish, he looks incredible. Manning the Devilfish.
You're so full of crap.
Okay, well the Tomahawk. I think he pairs well with the Tomahawk or any actually
I
brown or green vehicle. Really. I don't really have a specific vehicle that I assign him to. But I think any brown or green vehicle, he would like absolutely amazing.
Gesundheit.
Or even in a tank, you can put in the mauler. I think having kind of commanding that, even if you want to.
I was gonna say, I think he does look really cool in a mauler.
Mm,
Yeah, I
100%.
dig Hawk in a mauler. I think it totally works. Um, it's a pity there isn't another slot for another GI Joe on the Mobat, but I think Hawk would have been great on that Mobat, even though it's a few years ago for him, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean,
Um, and also not for nothing, I I think a Skyhawk is a great vehicle for Hawk.
mm,
I I like what it represents. It allows him to be in the thick of the action, but also have the point of view on the battlefield. So have
yeah.
some kind of
If you want to be
yeah,
more accurate to him being an artillery officer, you can put him on the Thunderclap as well.
yeah, true. Um, yeah. So those are. I mean, I think those are quite solid. Those are great
Or
rides for him.
his second military specialty, you can put him on the radar rat. It's
Second time a
amazing.
radar
It's a bit
rat has been
lonely.
suggested for a figure. So
You
no, you
know,
joke, but I recommended the radar rat for was it Breaker?
probably.
Steve gave us a
Yeah,
quick fire.
well, Breaker is a corporal. You don't put your general on a little like golf cart with
The
No, but he
target
like
feels
Mickey
he
Mouse over it.
needs to be. He feels like he needs to be in the field. He wants to be in charge of gathering the information and making sure he places this very important device in the right position. You know, to capture
Got Hawk
radar signals.
there on the radio like boom, boom.
Exactly. He's like, "Is this good, guys? Can you hit those targets well?" And he would know where
We
to put
got
it
some
properly.
static.
He would know where to put it properly because he's able to guide the artillery units or groups better because he is so well versed in artillery. But anyway, I'm just throwing everything onto the wall here. Stephen, where do you put Hawk? Huh? What is the perfect vehicle for Hawk?
Most frequently, a sort of command tomahawk.
Come on, Tomahawk.
But
That's
if he is to be
nice.
on the ground, I like to have him driven around by crankcase in an all striker.
Ooh,
Mm.
that's a
And if
good
you really
one.
want him to be on the tip of the spear, him
The
being a 1986
general.
guy, you got to put him in the gun chair of a Havoc.
Ah,
That's also fun.
the
Yes,
general.
actually. Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta put your general on the general. Come on.
Yeah. At least the general would offer him a bit more sniper protection. I mean, it is
Mm.
laughable to think that you'd put any high value member of the team in the gun chair of the Havoc. That's just hilarious. You will be taken out by low branches. Never mind friendly fire.
Hey, listen, it's why he's got that double thick helmet, dude. Like,
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, you were laughing
listen,
at this helmet earlier, Paul,
these
but this thing
Kevlar.
is why he
Yeah.
wears it.
I
You
wanted to
know,
go as far as to say laughing at it.
you were
But
laughing at it. You're like, what the hell? It makes his head look like a watermelon, like
it does make his head look like a
completely out of
watermelon.
scale with the rest of the
It is
figure.
also one of those accessories. Sorry, like just in case you guys made it this far in the episode. It is also one of those accessories that when you see it loose, it feels like a knockoff GI Joe accessory. It doesn't feel like a real
Wow.
GI Joe accessory. Like it feels like the paint has rubbed off it and stuff. I don't know. It's just something.
You.
Anyway, we've
It
had
Paul
could
that
really
really
moment.
do with a
hates this
flick of
helmet.
paint, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anything to break it up would have been very welcome. The fact that
Mm.
it's a green goggle on a green helmet. And potentially,
Yeah.
like, what are we saying? Are we saying this is fabric covering the gloss of the goggles?
Which makes sense.
Yes,
So
it
snipers don't
does.
see the shimmer. That's
But
cool.
it's just like the card art puts a general star right on the middle of the helmet.
Target
Anything like
practice.
that would have been pretty sweet. But
That would
Yeah,
have been awesome.
that star in the middle there that's asking for cock.
So I like the detailing of the helmet, but yeah, I agree that it's too big.
It's too big. So,
It's unfortunate.
if anybody watching this, or to everybody who's watching this and listening,
And listening,
if you haven't already got a version to Hawk in your collection, we obviously, I mean, I'm sure you can obviously tell that we are endorsing the purchase of a Hawk or the
do
acquisition of a
it.
Hawk
Come on,
version in
guys.
your life.
Earn
You must do
him.
this. It's clearly a toy that's missing from your side, and if you have got him already, share how much you've enjoyed this figure in our comments. It's always great to hear from you guys. By the way, I love the comments from the last episode. some very cool ideas.
You guys are wild. Like, my
Yeah,
goodness. Like, I thought my ideas were crazy.
right, and
No.
even a commenter there, I just thought was quite cool that they also mentioned Care Bears. So if you haven't checked out that
Incredible.
episode, do check it out.
Everyone is on the same wavelength.
I did think of a wonderful, unlikely pairing when I was talking to you gentlemen the other night, which was LA Law and GI Joe. But we're not going to discuss the merits or demerits of such a thing.
Never
I just figured, we need a Jimmy
put
Smith
it
figure
out there.
for some reason or
There are
another.
not enough Jimmy Smith figures.
Yes,
Star Wars got him. G.I. Joe
Yeah.
needs one too. We need an
Yeah,
O-ring Jimmy Smith, guys.
that's exactly
Make it
like
happen.
make it happen. Give us Law cross GI Joe.
La li
We
lu la
are getting
la.
Street Fighter cross GI Joe soon, it seems, as well. Which
Absolutely, we will definitely talk about that in a
we're
non-figure
going to
focused
totally
episode.
talk about that. Hopefully, in our next episode, we'll even have pictures to talk about. But guys, is there anything else
Yeah,
that you?
next week, I mean, just in case you were dying to hear GI Joburg's take on Hydra Viper, Airtight, Ninja Force Zartan, all the latest classified render reveals, check back with us in 7 short days.
Do it.
Yeah, it
What
also
else you
gives
can
us the
do?
time to validate everything and to maybe
There we
see actual
go.
proper images. So
Amazing.
yeah, maybe
Absolutely
by then
incredible.
I might have my new toys with me.
Ooh, new toys. That'll be cool to talk about.
Toys. What you're gonna do?
I look forward to it.
But gents,
Zanya and Swampskia.
this has been an
Overkill.
overkill. Zanya and Somskia. That's a fun pairing. It's a good way to not re-release Zartan again. See, save it for the next episode, Paul. Save it for 4-1.
Yeah, this is the figure-focused episode.
But while we're here, we just want to say thank you to everybody that supports the channel, for liking the channel, for subscribing, for your comments. Even just watching it till the end is really cool. And then to those few that have been supporting us financially in the form of Google membership or Patreon, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It does definitely go a long way to helping the channel run better, especially because it helps with little things, which is cool. That said, we really appreciate that, and we appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing your fun comments. And gents, is there anything you would like to say about Hawk before we walk out the door?
That's it. I think we've said it.
You said
Yep.
it.
Just got to reinstate the fact that when I had the opportunity to buy figures on the internet, he was the very first one.
That says a lot.
Amok time.
I'm glad we have reinstated that statement.
Essential.
There we go. And if anybody knows anybody who knows somebody from Amok time, tell them that they helped a GI Joburg member, GI Joburg host, GI Joburg creator. I don't know, what would we say we are? You helped make their GI Joe dreams come true, but their story was immortalized in this episode. And another. Yeah.
And another.
One or two in the early days as well. Anyway, guys, love you guys. And to everybody out there, play with your toys. Yo, Joe.
Berg.
Berg.